You left it to the last minute, didn't you? Again, the exam's tomorrow, your notes are a mess, your guilt is eating you alive, and somehow you found yourself watching a video, hoping someone, anyone, can save your brain from total academic collapse. Yeah, I see you, sitting there, half scrolling, half panicking, wondering if this is the moment your GPA finally tanks for good. But guess what? It's not too late, not yet. And no, this isn't one of those soft, hand-holding pep talks where I tell you to just believe in yourself. This is a survival guide for the academic equivalent of a car crash. I'm going to walk you through every dirty last-minute trick to squeeze a passing grade out of thin air. Are you ready? Good, because we're not here to be average. First things first, your brain is not a trash can, so stop feeding it like one. You want to function at max capacity during a cram session? You need to treat your brain like it's competing in the Olympics. That means no more sugary garbage, no more greasy comfort food, and for the love of neurons, ditch the soda. Green tea, that's your new best friend. Why? Because it hits that sweet spot between caffeine and calm. It wakes your brain up without turning you into a jittery mess. Not a tea person? Grow up. Or, fine, pop some omega-3 capsules. They'll feed your brain what it needs without forcing you to cook up salmon at 2 a.m. And those sad, salty chips you're reaching for? Replace them with almonds or walnuts, loaded with vitamin E to keep those frazzled brain cells alive a little longer. Oh, and if you need a little chocolate fix, make it dark. Not because it's fancy, but because it boosts blood flow to your brain. That's right, your snack can actually make you smarter. You're welcome. Now, let's talk about strategy, because if you think you're going to just study everything, you're already doomed. Time is not on your side, so you've got to outsmart the system. Grab a piece of paper or whatever digital scrap you have and write down every topic, then divide them into 4 brutal truths. What you're good at, what you suck at, and whether each is likely to be tested a lot or barely mentioned. Prioritize the painful stuff, the heavily tested topics you're weakest in. That's where the real damage comes from. Once you've patched those holes, move on to the lightly tested weaknesses. If you've got time left, which, let's be honest, you probably don't, polish off your strengths just to be safe. And don't guess, dig. Use the syllabus, old exams, summaries at the end of textbook chapters. Anything that helps you figure out where the fire is hottest. This isn't about fairness, it's about survival. But knowing what to study is useless if you just sit there staring at a screen. You think passively watching a video is going to magically lodge Newton's laws into your brain? Think again. You need to go full sensory overload. Pull up that YouTube lecture, turn on the transcript, speed it up to 1.5 because no one's got time for professors who talk like sloths. And start taking notes like your academic future depends on it, because it does. Your eyes, your ears, your hands, engage them all. The more senses you use, the more your brain locks that info down. This isn't a Netflix binge. This is a high-stakes memory operation. If you're going to cram, do it right. And once you've scribbled down those notes, it's time to make some noise. Literally, read them out loud. Yeah, like a crazy person. Walk around your room, talk to the wall, narrate like you're teaching a TED Talk. Why? Because hearing your own voice forces your brain to process the material differently. It's not just another read-through, it's you actively reinforcing connections. Bonus points if you rope in a roommate. They don't even have to listen. Just the act of explaining something to another person forces your brain to make sense of it. If you can teach it, you own it. And if they roll their eyes and say you're annoying, congratulations. You're doing it right. Still with me? Good. Because now, we're bringing out the big guns, quizzes, and flashcards. Reading notes is child's play. Real memory comes from challenges. Flashcards force your brain to retrieve information instead of just recognizing it. That's active recall, and it's one of the most effective learning methods on the planet. Can't be bothered to make flashcards? Tough. Use Quizlet or Quiz Plus. Let AI build them from your notes. Just stop making excuses. Once you've got your deck, race the clock. Set a timer and make it painful. That pressure, it simulates exam stress, and your brain will thank you later. Skip this and you might as well hand in a blank test. Flashcards are your pre-battle training. Use them or lose. Speaking of memory, let's get into the science of not forgetting everything the second you close your textbook. Spaced repetition. It sounds fancy, but it's just timing your reviews smartly. You learn something, you review it soon after, then again later, then once more before bed. Simple. If you're cramming, your intervals are tight, maybe just a few hours apart, but the principle still works. Your brain gets the message, hey, this matters, don't dump it. Use apps or just mark your notes with review times. Drill those flashcards again and again. And here's the wild part. Studies show your brain actually prefers this. It retains info better when reminded at just the right time. Think of it like training a dog. Repeat the command, reward the recall, and eventually it sticks. Now, here's a trick most people overlook. Study right before bed. No, not until you pass out on your keyboard. I mean a focused review session, then lights out. Why? Because while you sleep, your brain isn't off. It's busy organizing and reinforcing everything you just shoved into it. It's like hitting the save button on your mental hard drive. Science backs this up. People who study before bed recall more than those who review earlier. So instead of doom scrolling through memes at 2 a.m., spend your last 20 minutes going over your key points. Write them, type them, speak them, it doesn't matter. Just make it active and then crash. You'll wake up with that knowledge locked tighter than your phone password. And finally, this is your game-winning move, the memory dump. When that exam starts, don't just leap into question 1 like a headless chicken. Take the first 5 minutes and write down everything you crammed. Formulas, definitions, steps, dates, anything that might vanish the moment panic hits. Use the back of the paper, margins, anything. You're building your own cheat sheet from memory. And no, it's not cheating, it's strategy. When the pressure's on and your brain blanks, you'll thank your past self for this tiny act of brilliance. It's like giving your future self a life raft before you even dive in. Do it. No excuses. Look, no one's proud to be a last-minute crammer, but if you've made it this far, it means you've got grit. You're not quitting. And if you follow these steps like your academic future depends on it, because, let's be honest, it kinda does, you might just pull this off. Maybe you'll even do better than expected. Just don't pretend this was all your genius. You got coached through it. So now it's your turn. Pass it on. Share this with that one friend who's more hopeless than you. Drop a comment if you've got any weird hacks that saved you last time. And if you don't show up for the next video, well, then I guess you really are dumber than I thought.